Hi, everybody. Happy Thursday. It's time for science, okay? And we have a very fun holiday coming up in a couple days. We have Halloween, and I know we think about bats around Halloween time, and that sometimes bats are spooky and scary, but I'm going to read you a story that kind of gives the lowdown on bats, and we're going to learn about bats, and they're actually not so scary after all. All right, so I'm going to read this story to you, and it is called Bats, Simple Bats by Gail Gibbons. Bats dive, swoop, and swerve through the dark night sky. These creatures are nocturnal. Go ahead and say nocturnal, meaning they are awake at night and asleep during the day. There are other animals that are nocturnal too. Can you think of any? Most people have never seen a bat. Bats have played an important part in stories. Many people have thought bats were evil spirits. Others have thought they were friends of ghosts and witches. Look at, we have a cauldron and this witch, and ooh, so spooky. Because many unkind things have been said about bats, some people still think they are scary. Actually, bats are shy and gentle animals. Do we know what shy means? They're kind of timid. They're not going to fly at you and be aggressive and mean. They're actually very calm and sweet. Bats are mammals. So are dogs, cats, and humans. All mammals are warm-blooded animals, and their babies are born alive instead of being hatched from eggs. Bats are the only mammals that can fly. Oh my gosh. So bats are what? What kind of thing are they? What? Huh? Mammals, just like us. Isn't that crazy? We are mammals just like bats. And what's special about them? They're the only mammal that can fly. This right here, this picture is an example of a funnel-eared bat. You can tell those ears are very large. Bats have been around for a long time. The oldest bat fossil found is about 50 million years old. These prehistoric bats look a lot like today's bats. So these look like your typical bat that we see, in cartoons and movies and things like that. So I want you to pay attention. This is a diagram. Right here, this is pointing to the wing of the bat. Right here, we can see an eye. That word is eye. Right here, it's pointing to the nose of the bat. We see this big ear that the bat has, which we'll talk about why their ears are so important. Here's the foot of a bat, the tail. Who knew that bats had tails? I did not know that. Here's the body, and bats are furry. Their fur can be black, white, red, brown, or gray. And a bat is about 3 inches. So if you look at like your mom or your dad's fingers, it's like a little bit longer than their longest finger. Okay. And their wings are about 10 inches from tip to tip. It's important that you look at this because you're going to have a seesaw after this where you get to label the different parts of a bat. All bats have the same basic characteristics, meaning they all have large wings, they all have small little bodies, and they have lightweight bones. Why do you guys think their bones are lightweight? I had to guess it's so they could fly easier and they're not going to be so heavy. Bats' wings are different from the wings of insects or birds. A bat's wing has a long arm bone with very long finger bones. A thin skin called a membrane stretches between the bones, and the thumb ends with the claw. Holy cow, boys and girls. There are bones in the bat's wings, and they have arm bones and they have finger bones just like we have finger bones. Look at this. So here's the thumb where I'm pointing. Here's the claw coming out of it. Here's the second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger. Do they have 5 fingers on both sides like we do? What a connection. So the membrane, so like that really thin skin that's across the wings, it connects the wings bones to a bat's body and legs, right? So you can kind of see where that thin skin goes onto that fuzzy bat body. A bat can move each finger separately to change the shape of its wings. This helps it change its speed and direction quickly. Wow. So that second finger can move all by itself, or that fifth finger can move just like our hands. Here's my thumb, second finger, third, fourth, fifth. You see how I'm doing that? The bat can do that too, but the bat has a cool wing. Oh my gosh, that'd be cool if we had wings. Some bats can fly as fast as 99 miles an hour. Ask your mom and dad to drive 99 miles per hour in their car, and they will say, no way, that is too fast. But a bat can go that fast. And some as high as 10,000 feet. Oh my goodness. When a bat lands, it flips upside down and hangs by its toe claws. It uses these claws to move around. So go ahead and just don't trim your toenails for a really long time, and maybe you can hang upside down like a bat. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Look at these claws, and it's hanging upside down. Bats migrate when they go to and from a warmer climate. Bats choose many kinds of dark nooks and crannies to live in. These places are called roosts. Many bats live together in caves, attics, barns, or tall trees. So we actually have a lot of bats in Manhattan because we have so many barns in our area. Okay. Lots of people have attics in their homes, and we have so many tall trees. So sometimes you can actually see bats flying around Manhattan. I've actually seen some flying around myself. You think they're a bird, but then you realize it's nighttime and it's actually a bat. In places where it gets cold in the winter, some kinds of bats migrate to warmer climates. Others use their roosts and hibernate to the spring. Anybody know what hibernate means? Hibernate. Oh, when they sleep the whole season. So some go like geese do, and they fly to a warmer space when it gets chilly willies. And then a lot of them can just sleep through it like bears do. So that's pretty cool. Just before hibernating begins, bats eat lots of food to live on during the long winter months. Their heartbeats slow down and their body temperature drops. Very cool. Bats live on every continent except Antarctica. Why wouldn't bats live on Antarctica? Maybe because it's covered in snow and there's no place for the bats to go. Most of them live in hot climates where there are many insects, fruits, and flowers to feed on. Did you guys catch that? They eat bugs. Bats eat bugs. They eat flowers, and they eat fruit. Do they eat humans? No. Should we be afraid of bats? No way. They have no interest in hurting us. They just want to eat these fruits. So look at these big berries. They want to eat different flowers and bugs. That's great. Eat all the bugs, please, bats. There are about 1,100 different kinds of bats. The smallest is the Kitti's hognose bat. Little teeny tiny bat right here. Its wingspan, so when it stretches out like that, it's 5 inches, which is like only that much. So tiny. And it weighs only 1/14 of an ounce. You guys, that's so little, teeny tiny. The biggest bat is the giant flying fox. It has a wingspan of about 5 feet. Okay, that's a little bit shorter than I am. So that's almost this big, you guys. That is massive. And it weighs about 2 pounds. That's nothing. That's such a big bat, but it doesn't weigh much. Why don't bats weigh much? Because their bones are lightweight. Those both live in Asia. Most bats are insect eaters. We just said that. And they have a special way of seeing in the night called echolocation. A bat sends out a rapid beeping call, too high-pitched for people to hear. So they're doing this, and we have no idea that it's going on because our ears can't pick up those sound waves. Oh, sound waves. Did we just learn about sound waves? Or I think you're about to learn about sound waves. When hunting, the sound waves hit an insect. The waves bounce back to the bat's ears as echoes. These echoes tell the bat the size and shape of the insect and where it is located. Why would a bat want to know that? Why is a bat interested in knowing where an insect is? Wants to eat it. In a flash, the bat scoops up the insect. Bats help control the insect population. I support that. 100%. So this bat is going super duper high pitched. It bounces off this bug, bounces back to its big old ears, and then it goes, and it goes, eats the bug. There are fruit and nectar eating bats too. These bats help pollinate plants so we can have foods such as avocados, figs, and bananas. Those are all delicious, healthy, yummy foods. And they also help scatter seeds, so they're helping us, okay? See how there's like this big old flower here and it's drinking the nectar? There's a fishing bat. A few kinds of bats are meat eaters, okay? So some do like to eat meat, but let's see what kind of meat they like to eat. Fish, frogs, mice, and sometimes birds. Again, no people. They don't eat us. No need to be scared of a bat. All right, they have smooth, sharp, crushing teeth that allow them to eat what they catch, bones and all. Crunch. Look at that. Wow, impressive. Okay, blood is the only food for vampire bats. That's an appropriate name. They're found in Mexico, Central America, and South America. When the vampire bat finds an animal, it makes a tiny cut with its teeth in the animal's skin. Then the bat drinks up all the blood with its tongue, and the animal hardly feels the cut. Wow, interesting fact. Many scary and untrue stories have been told about vampire bats and people called vampires. Who's heard of a vampire? Most of us, right? We've heard of a vampire before. The famous fictional vampire Dracula frequently is shown with bats circling around him. So here's Dracula and all that stuff. Obviously, Dracula is a vampire. Vampires eat blood, which is why those vampire bats are named that. So people kind of put the two and two together. Some bats have long, narrow faces, like the dawn bat. Look at this long, narrow face. Looks almost like a dog face. Others have short, round faces. Very tube-nosed fruit bat. Very short, very squashed looking face. Some bats have leaf-like shapes on their faces. Others look like dogs, like this one. Look at that long snout. Here's a little brown bat. So most bats have very good hearing. Very, very excellent hearing, and they can see well. And most bats have a good sense of smell too, like a lot of animals do. In the springtime, female bats gather together in roosts that will become nurseries. What are in nurseries, boys and girls? Little babies. They'll give birth to their babies called pups. So not only do puppies have that, but we call little baby bats pups, little pups. And they usually only have one at a time, like people. During birth, the mother bat may hang by her thumb and her claw. As soon as the pup is born, its mother hangs its head down again, and the pup nurses while being cradled under the mother's wings. So, and then the pup, it holds onto the mom nice and tight. Today, in many places, bat populations are getting smaller. That means we have less and less bats going on. The reason these bats are endangered is because people still, they don't like bats because they don't realize that there's nothing to be afraid of, and they destroy their habitat. Remember, habitat is where an animal lives. And other causes are pollution, so the air being dirty, and the use of pesticides. Okay, so that's hurting our bat population, which is very sad. In many places, there aren't enough bats left to keep down the number of insects and pests to pollinate flowers. So by not having a lot of bats, it's hurting our flowers and our plants too. People are learning how to help protect bats. Some people provide bat houses where they can. So look at this yellow thing right here. And I want you to notice the next time you're driving through our town and you kind of go out in the country, maybe even not the country, see if you can find these bat boxes. Or maybe one of you even has one at your house on a tree. And you can say, oh my gosh, that's a bat box. Okay, that bat box, it's free for bats to come and go. They don't have to pay rent or a nightly fee, which is very convenient for the bat. But people can't get inside them, just the bats. Bats play an important role in nature, and it is very fun to learn about them. Okay, so I know that was a long story full of information, but they are such cool, awesome creatures. Okay, I want you to go tell somebody in your house 3 facts that you just learned about bats that you didn't know about before. Did you know that they're mammals like me and you? Did you know there are bones in their wings and they have 5 fingers that they can move one at a time like we do? There's so many awesome, cool things about bats. All right, so now what I want you to do, Go ahead and go on Seesaw, and you are going to diagram a bat. You're going to look at the picture of the bat, and you are going to label all the different parts of the bat: their eyes, their ears, their nose, their mouth, their wings, all that good stuff. All right. Have fun and share the knowledge that bats are really cool, and there's no need to be scared of them. Have a good day.